overcast and cooler here as the temperature drops in St. Louis. Bill Parcells and Jim Hannafin have brought their clubs along to the point where they're contending for division title and wild card playoff berth. The Cardinals lead 14-7. Second half kickoff by Neil O'Donoghue. Deep is Butch Woolfolk for the Giants at the 7-yard line. Penalty flag is down as Woolfolk runs it out of bounds just about the 19-yard line, but a penalty flag upfield at about the 35. Is apparently against St. Louis. Chuck Heberling trying to find out what the options are all about. Cardinals will finish their season against the Redskins next Sunday in Washington on CBS.
On the kickoff, number 40 is offside. 5 yards, free kick.
Randy Love. So they're going to kick it over again.
Yeah, they'll make him kick it over again with a hope and expectation they can get better field position.
Giants will finish their regular season next Saturday on CBS against the New Orleans Saints. And a victory next week against the Saints, regardless of how the Giants do today, would give them a playoff berth. The halftime statistics looks kind of even other than the total yards. Actually, St. Louis has had the edge passing 187-79, and that's been the big edge. But as Hank mentioned, one big play, 44 yards, can make the difference, and the Giants can come back with an equal play of that distance.
Yeah, they're very capable, and they throw the ball well enough. And, of course, the Cardinals are using a lot of man-for-man coverage, and I think they have to come back and try to hit those outside receivers on one-on-one situations with a hope and expectation they can come up with a big play.
O'Donoghue will be kicking off from the 30, and there's Butch Woolfolk. Keep in mind that the Giants have lost Ernest Gray, who they expect back next week. Phil McConkey, who was a good kick returner from their wide receiving core. They still have a few, and here is Woolfolk at the 12-yard line, running it back and stopped at the 24-yard line. And Perry Harrington with 2 good plays on special teams today, and he made a couple last week against the Patriots. So here comes Phil Simms. 7 for 14, 1 touchdown pass and 1 interception. The victory over the Jets last week was the first time this year that he won a game without throwing a touchdown pass. Ball's at the 24. Morris goes out to the top of your screen. And Simms to throw on first down. Intercepted right in the hands of Thomas Howard. And that's his second of the ball game. And the Cardinals will have it on the Giant 21.
Howard comes up with this interception. He throws it right to Howard. I think he's trying to get the ball to number 88. Bobby Johnson, and he throws it right to Johnson.
What a game for Thomas Howard. 2 interceptions today, and a fumble recovery and a touchdown last week. First and 10 for St. Louis on the Giant 21.
Very obvious that he didn't see Howard at all when he threw the ball to Johnson.
And a golden chance for the Cardinals here to up their lead. In motion, Roy Green. Lomax being rushed, and Lawrence Taylor came in and stormed in to sack Lomax, and Taylor is a little slow getting up and shaken up as he limps off the field, and that could be a big blow.
That's the problem with a play action fake. You say the quarterback's faking, the backside is open. You got to make sure you block that linebacker. They didn't block Taylor at all, and they missed a block on him, and of course he comes up with a big sack, and you come up with a big loss on that kind of a play. That's why you really have to be careful on play action passes to make sure the backside is secure.
So Lawrence Taylor is on the bench right now. Andy Hedden will move in to the right outside linebacking position, and Taylor is hurting on the sidelines right now. He has missed 4 plays in 1 game. Basically, he's been quite the durable player. A loss of 11 on the play. It'll be second down and 21, back at the 32-yard line. Giants are flying. And a legal procedure will be the call against the St. Louis Cardinals.
Number 66, offense. Second down.
Doug Dawson, the left guard who came in for Terry Steve, who, by the way, has a broken leg. Steve was carried off the field on the second play, or after the second play, with a broken leg, and he's out of the game, and Dawson called for the penalty. Taylor being tended to on the sideline, and it has started to rain here in St. Louis. There was some chance of precipitation today, and it has started to rain. So it's second down and 26 following the penalty for the Cardinals. Back at the 37. They're moving in reverse. Lomax dumps it off to Earl Farrell. Farrell is hit from behind. Fumbles recovered by the Giants. It may be Haynes, and Haynes brings it out to the 47-yard line. And that's the story. George Martin, though, made the hit, and Haynes recovered the fumble. And Haynes is shaken up now for the Giants.
That's a middle screen anticipating a good rush up the middle. He does a good job. Number 31, look at him inside. Farrell breaks out to the right side. He does not see number 75 from the backside, George Martin, and he scrapes the ball loose. Haynes picks it up, and now they dodge a bullet, and they have good field position. Here again, watch the toss, a middle screen to Farrell, number 31. He makes the catch. Now watch Martin, number 75 from the backside. He scrapes the ball loose. There it is. He scrapes it loose, and Haynes picks it up. And now the Giants have a great opportunity with good field position.
But two of their top defensive players, Lawrence Taylor and Mark Haynes, shaken up.
The playoffs. Next Saturday, New Orleans battles the New York Giants. Next Sunday, see St. Louis against Washington or other regional games on CBS Sports.
Two Giant defensive players who have made big plays here. Taylor shaken up. Haynes seems to be all right as he walked off on his own power. And the Giants have the ball first and 10 on their 46. Just under 3 minutes gone by in this third quarter. Joe Morris on the handoff. Gives ground and is tackled, maybe a yard gain. That's all. Ramsey Dardar making the stop. You know, Hank, it'll be interesting to see how the Giant offense responds, because even though Taylor and Haynes were shaken up, it was such a ferocious defensive display following the interception by Thomas Howard. We'll see if the defense sparks the Giant offense here.
They are second and 9.
The other thing, you know, looking at the Cardinal defense, they're using, which is their basic defense, an overshifted and undershifted defense, and I think the Giants have had to change the plays quite a few times to take advantage of the defensive alignments.
They have the ball on their own 47, trailing 14-7. Joe Morris gets ahead of steam and is tackled by Galloway, who saves a first down, but it'll be third down and 1 in Cardinal territory at the 45-yard line.
Ron Lever replay coming up here with the right guard, Godfrey, number 61, blocking on the play, and he gets a good block on the linebacker, Howard, and for that reason, Morris is able to jump in there and pick up a nice gain on the play.
New York third and 1.
Morris, 33 yards, third down and 1. Two tight end alignment, and here's Morris, busts up the middle, has the first down to the Cardinal 40-yard line. Tackle made by Wayne Smith, the cornerback. Morris was effective running up the middle last week, too.
He came right there. They got a good surge off the line of scrimmage that time. Got a good takeoff. He knew exactly what he had to do. He didn't have to read anything. He wanted to make sure he got the necessary yardage for the first down. And the left guard, Billiard, and the center, Belcher, did a good job of coming off the ball.
At the 40-yard line of the Cardinals, 14-7, St. Louis leading the Giants. Sims has had good protection most of the day, going to Zeke Moat, and Moat is there and cannot hold on. Defending was Thomas Howard way downfield for the linebacker, who already is having a terrific game, and we have seen Moat make two fine catches in the first quarter.
That's the kind of a situation you'd like. You'd like the tight end to be covered by the linebacker, but in this particular case, Thomas Howard, number 59, really covered him well, and in spite of that, Zoat almost came up with a catch.
Moat with 21 catches last year, came into the game with 40 receptions, and the tight end has become a big factor in the Giant passing offense. Second down 10 at the 40.
They got some running room on the right side if they run.
They do, and it is. Right side, Joe Morris. And he's hard to bring down. He'll have, I believe, close to first down yardage at the 30-yard line. Benny Perrin making the tackle, and a good block by Rob Carpenter. But right now, for an NFL Today report, here's Brent Musburger. Brent.
Dick, we've had this development in Soldier Field in Chicago. Rusty Lish ineffective. Walter Payton now quarterbacking the Bears. They're operating out of the shotgun. Payton was unable to get the Bears into the end zone. They went to the half, trailing the Packers 7-0. Back to Dick.
Brent, I got to think that Mike Ditka really needs this game for Walter Payton to be moved to quarterback. Don't you think?
Yeah, that's really something. When you take your, you take your great back out of the game, really playing quarterback.
Carpenter. With all that running, gets maybe 2 on the play. Charlie Baker making the tackle. Oh, if they ever lost Walter Payton, forget about those other people. You can kiss the Bear playoff hopes goodbye. And right now, all they're fighting for is home field advantage.
Well, I think going into the season, everybody thought they had a good chance to be a good football team, but they had to have the quarterback, McMahon, playing. He hasn't been able to play, and they've really suffered offensively.
Second down and 8. Keep in mind, it'll be the Cowboys and the Redskins. Coming up next, those two teams are tied for first place in the NFC East with the Giants, who are marching. Sims going for Bobby Johnson, and it's Lionel Manuel make it, and defending on the play was Wayne Smith, and Sims was going for 6 right there.
It looked like he went right through there like a 2-point play. Looked like he had a chance to make the catch, but it went right on through.
So Wayne Smith has been kind of a journeyman cornerback, and he is really making the most of his opportunity. You remember a Monday night game when he was burned badly when he was with the Lions, and he's come back well.
I talked to Tommy Bettis, who worked with the defensive backs, and he said really all he needed was a lot of work on his technique and his footwork, and he's playing very much better, and evidently he is, and Tommy, I think, has done a great job with it.
3 wide receivers for the Giants out of the shotgun, 3rd and 8. Sims has time, and the pass is caught inside the 15-yard line, and it's Lionel Manuel. And what did Phil Sims tell us, Hank? He says coming out of the cut, he's the quickest I've seen.
Watch him coming down the field, breaks across. There he is, breaks across to the left side, runs a kind of a round inside pattern. The ball is thrown high, and in spite of that, he still makes the catch. The key to the play, really, Dick, was the pass protection. He had all the time in the world to look downfield and pick out anybody he wanted to throw to because he had that much time to throw the ball.
So with Ernest Gray out of there, Manuel becomes a starter, and he's delivering. 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line following that 15-yard pickup. Here's Sims, and this pass nearly intercepted Manuel off of his hands, and it was nearly picked off by Benny Perrin. No question that this is the favorite target other than Moat today for Phil Sims.
Well, all you had to do is listen to Phil talk yesterday. You knew how much he liked to throw the ball to him.
New York second.
But here again, that ball's a little high, and he was sideways. Had he had his back to the end zone facing the quarterback, he would have had a much better opportunity to make that catch.
10:07 remaining, 3rd quarter. Cardinals lead 14-7, and Phil Sims faces a 2nd and 10 from the St. Louis 13-yard line. Movement in the line, and the Giants might have been offside, and Joe Morris carries.
Moat was offside the tight end, I think, on the play.
You could see it at the top of his screen right before the snap. There's Al Bubba Baker, and the penalty against the Giants nullifies Morris's run to the 1-yard line, and these are the penalties that kill you.
Well, they really do, especially in this scoring area.
Illegal motion, offense, number 84, 2nd down.
It'll still be 2nd down, but instead of the ball resting on the 1, it's 2nd down and 15, back at the 18-yard line. It hasn't been a heavily penalized game. Lawrence Taylor is back and will be back in the defensive alignment for the Giants. Second down, 15. Sims to Moat, touchdown Giants, and the tight end has come through for the Giants, He was going against the linebacker Thomas Howard, as you pointed out again, and this time he beat Howard, and Moat brings the Giants back to 14-13.
You can do that just so many times, and you have to keep throwing stuff up against the wall. The more you throw, the more it's going to stick, and that's what happened on this play. Moat was being covered by Howard. Good protection again. All the time in the world to throw the ball. Sims threw it right over the top of the linebacker, beautifully catch into the end zone. And there again, there's a great illustration of the big play we were talking about earlier. One play and they're back in business.
5 receptions for Zeke Moat and Ali Haji Sheikh to try to tie the ball game up, and the kick is good, and the game is tied. Protection, the name of the game for Phil Sims on this drive, capped with a touchdown pass to Moat.
Double team that time by Benson, and also the left guard on the play, Billy Ard. Yeah. Watch Phil Sims now after the touchdown.
And as he told us yesterday, this is the way it was supposed to happen when I came into the NFL. We're all tied. He was strictly a blocker when he came on as a free agent from Florida State in his second year. They thought maybe he'd be better off as an offensive lineman. Boy, has he become a pass receiver. 6 touchdown reception for Zeke Moat, and it's a 14-14 game. And now Ali Haji Sheikh will be kicking off. Stump Mitchell, the man in the middle for the Cardinals. Low line drive kick, and Mitchell inside the 5. Mitchell puts a move on, and Stump Mitchell is in Giant territory, and he finally broke one this year. They've been waiting for it, Hank.
You know, I was just getting ready to say before this happened, Dick, so many times when you score a touchdown, your specialty teams, if you're not careful, they relax a little bit, and instead of bearing down, they provide the opposition with a good opportunity to get back in the game with good field position. This is exactly what happened. Stump Mitchell brings the ball all the way back to the +40.
A 56-yard kickoff return, his longest of the year. Cardinals are at the 39-yard line of the Giants, 1st and 10. It's a 14-14 ball game with 9:44 to go in the 3rd quarter, and watch out, Lomax gets away from Taylor, but not that time. And he was in the act of throwing the pass, so that'll be an incomplete pass. But Lawrence Taylor, I guess, Hank, is okay.
Boy, you talk about an Iron Man. Number 56, here he is. Watch Lomax go back into the pocket. And here's Taylor coming from the other side. Misses in the first time, but comes back the second time and gives him a shot.
Now, Lawrence Taylor leads the Giants in sacks, but he had 8 of them in the first 4 games, 2.5 in the last 10. What's the reason, do you think?
Well, everybody is definitely putting a tight end on his side. They're blocking him with a guard, a tackle, sometime a back, so it's made a big difference. As a result, Merrill has had a great rushing experience during the course of the season.
2nd down and 10. Otis Anderson cutting back to the 35-yard line. It'll be 3rd and about 5 now for the Cardinals. Lawrence Taylor and Jim Burke make the tackle. That's the time remaining in the 3rd quarter. 14-14 to score. 2 of the touchdowns have come from off of interceptions. Don't forget college basketball, number 1 ranked Georgetown, the defending NCAA champions, against DePaul, ranked number 2. A fantastic matchup this early in the year, or Tulsa, Arkansas live, 3:45 Eastern next Saturday on CBS Sports. Kenny Daniel, number 24, is in the game at a cornerback. He replaces Mark Haynes. 3rd and 5. Lomax under pressure again. And Lomax is going for Roy Green, and Green out of bounds, no catch.
And Tilley was wide open, ran right by the defensive back on the right side. Nobody saw him, nobody touched him.
Terry Williams and Terry Kennard were defending Roy Green, but he did not stay in bounds.
But there again, Green did not give himself enough room. He did not go inside deep enough to give himself enough room on the outside move. The ball was thrown, but too close to the sideline, and so he doesn't have both feet in possession.
Well, he dragged him.
Yeah, but I don't think evidently he didn't have possession.
He had
have possession and both feet in bounds.
You know, we see the back of him. I remember the catch that Jimmy Giles supposedly made in the playoff a few years ago for Tampa Bay. He never had possession. 4th down and 5, and the Cardinals are going to go for it on 4th down. On the Giant 35, Lomax, 4th and 5.
Well, look at that.
He's going for Roy Green. He's there. Touchdown. And I wonder, Hank, whether the Cardinals said, let's take advantage of Kenny Daniel at cornerback right away.
No, I don't think they'd ever do that to a young defensive back who just came in the game as a replacement. I don't think they'd do that.
Foul on the play. There is no foul.
No foul. A touchdown will stick. It's 20-14, and so Kenny Daniel comes in, and Roy Green burns him for a 35-yard touchdown pass.
He let him get a little bit too close before he started to turn and run. You let him get too close, boy, he's gone. That's what happened on the play.
Neil O'Donoghue will try to give the Cardinals that 7-point lead once again. Holding is Benny Perrin. The kick is good, and it's 21-14. This has been a big play game on both sides, offense and defense.
Here we see it again. Here's the replay. Good protection. He steps up into the pocket, throws it right into the post. There you see him, and he's Green licking the defensive back, Kenny Daniel, number 24 on the play.
And it was all set up with Stump Mitchell's 56-yard kickoff return, so big plays have set up big plays in this ball game. It is 21-14 St. Louis, and we'll be back.
This is a great time for Chuck Banker, the specialty team coach for the St. Louis Cardinals, to tell his specialty cover guys, say, listen, you saw what happened with the Giants. Now we got to cover this kick good, and you cannot give them good field position to reduce the size of the field for their offense. Let's do a good job of covering this kick. Let's see what they do.
Butch Woolfolk is back for the Giants. O'Donoghue kicking off. O'Donoghue kicking off to the far side to Kenny Daniel, and Kenny Daniel runs it out to the 35. Daniel to the 45. And what a return by Kenny Daniel, who was just burned by Roy Green, and I don't remember when I've seen a player make amends as quickly as Kenny Daniel did. Danny Pittman makes the stop, a 51-yard kickoff return.
Here again, that's exactly the thing we were talking about just a moment ago. Your specialty team, for some reason or other, if you're not careful, they relax a little bit when they get ahead or after they scored a touchdown, and this happens to them. And now again, the Giants have great field position and an opportunity to get right back in the game.
So the Giants are now at the Cardinal 36-yard line with 8:27 to go in the third. And here is Joe Morris slithering through to the 31-yard line, picking up nearly 5 yards on the play. 2nd and 5. The Giants, who did not get any kind of rushing early in the year, are getting effective rushing, particularly from Morris today. Ramsey Dardar making the tackle with help from Charlie Baker.
Phil Simms mentioned that yesterday. Said, boy, it's great to come in at this stage of the season. We all feel very, very confident that we can run the ball. We know we can throw it, but we know we can run it now, too.
At the 31, here's Morris again. He's tripped up. Lee Nelson tripped him up. And a penalty flag is down as well. If Nelson hadn't gotten him, I'm sure that Galloway was right there. Officials holding a conference, and the Cardinals want to be invited.
Let's see what they call here. Tripping. You know, that's what I thought Nelson did, and I was waiting to see. I was going to mention the fact that it looked like he came across the line of scrimmage and kind of tripped him as he went by, but I wasn't sure. That's what they call.
And Jim Hannafin is pleading his case. Nelson on the trip, but Galloway, number 65, was waiting for Morris if he had gotten by the trip. What a delightful guy Jim Hannafin is.
Yeah, you talk about a good sense of humor and a great perspective on everything. He's a great people guy.
We have tripping, number 38 defense. It's a 10-yard penalty.
They're going to tack 10 yards on it.
They It sure looked like that's what happened on the play, but I couldn't tell for sure.
Lee Nelson starting at strong safety in place of Leonard Smith. So now the Giants have a 1st and 10 on the Cardinal 21. Trailing 21-14 in a wild game here in St. Louis. Sims back to throw, going up on top for Manuel. Wayne Smith defending on the play, incomplete. And the Cardinals teeing off on Mr. Sims.
Wayne Smith had good outside leverage on him that time. He looked like he anticipated the play going to the outside. There was a little collision there, but I thought that Wayne Smith, really, number 44, played it very, very well.
You know, you've coached teams that were on the climb, as these clubs are, when you were at Kansas City particularly, and you have to admire the way they're playing this game, going all out and not being conservative. We've seen both teams that way earlier.
Well, that's the big thing. You got to sell that to your team. You got to be on the attack. You have to make something happen. Both teams are playing that way this afternoon.
2nd down, 10 at the 21. Ramsey Dardar jumped. The question is, was he drawn?
Encroachment, number 62 on the defense.
You know, that's a good point. We talked to Sims yesterday about changing the cadence and the snap count, and evidently he's doing a pretty good job of it. He said he keeps track of that during the course of the game, and that's very important.
I'm surprised that Phil Sims had any kind of time to talk to us. He's from Louisville. He said he had 50 and 60 relatives, and the phone was ringing off the hook.
I said, who was going to have to reach for the hip for all those tickets? He smiled and he says, me. That's bad business. He better get a ticket procurement officer.
2nd down and 5 after the penalty. The ball now at the 16-yard line. 21-14, the Cardinals lead. Sims going for Lionel Manuel, and out of bounds, incomplete, did not hold on. Wayne Smith covering. I think Wayne Smith is really doing a fine job covering Lionel Manuel for the most part of this game.
He really is. He really is. Watch him coming off the ball now. The great thing, he's watching his man all the time. He's not looking back at the quarterback. Look at it. And when he brings his hands up, he comes up. That's good discipline and great teaching on the part of the defensive coach, I think, Tommy Bettis.
You mentioned the former Detroit Lion, and there's Jeff Griffin. Jeff Griffin had been the starter at right cornerback. Smith took over when Griffin broke his arm for the 4th time in 20 months. 3rd and 5 now.
They got bump and run on the outside receivers. We might see something outside. That would be the place to go.
Stafford Mays is in as a 5th defensive lineman, and Phil Sims wants to call a timeout. So the Cardinals using 5 defensive linemen.
New York, number 1.
Has that been a maneuver that we've seen a lot defensively lately?
Well, they use it a lot at St. Louis, and Tommy Bettis was with us at Kansas City. We used it some at Kansas City.
Phil Sims following the timeout. He has thrown 2 touchdown passes today to Lionel Manuel and Zeke Mowatt, the last one following a turnover. Cardinals have a touchdown following a turnover. We've had 2 outstanding kickoff returns. Now the Cardinals in a 4 defensive lineman alignment.
They got man-for-man coverage on the outside.
They're blitzing.
There they go.
The pass, incomplete. Penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage. Tony Galbraith, the back out of the backfield, and a good receiver. And it's going to be a holding call against the Giants. And there's a Giant player shaken up. It looks like Billy Ard, the left guard. And a Giant injury, 7:35 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Chuck Heberling will tell us.
Holding, offense, number 73. The penalty will be declined. It's 4th down.
Kevin Belcher, who's done a terrific job. Converted guard as a center. Ard is down. Right now, let's bring you up to date on some of the scores around the league. Pittsburgh over Cleveland, 17-13. Now the Steelers, they end up in a tie with Cincinnati at the end of the year in the AFC Central. The Bengals will end up winning on the basis of a better division record. The Steelers need to hold their advantage. Cincinnati leading New Orleans 17-7, so that race is still up in the air. Pittsburgh with a 1-game lead over Cincinnati. And of course the Steelers need to win and end up a game ahead of Cincinnati. A tie will put the Bengals into the playoffs. Pittsburgh win and a Cincinnati loss today would do it. The Colts are really giving Miami a battle, leading 17-14 in that game. Philadelphia over New England 20-17. Green Bay 7-0, and as you know, Walter Payton is in at quarterback for the Chicago Bears. They're in the third quarter, and Tampa Bay leading beleaguered Atlanta 20-6 in the third quarter. Want to remind you, coming up, Dallas and Washington. Hank, the Dallas offensive line has been a patchwork affair, and Washington's defensive line is playing its best ball of the year.
Well, they're big and they're strong, and they put a lot of pressure on you from a rush standpoint, plus the fact that they're so good against the run. I think they've given up about 99 yards a game rushing the ball, as far as the rushing defense is concerned, which is very strong.
Danny White is coming off a terrible game against the Eagles. Even though they won, he didn't play well. What does that mean going into this week?
Oh, I don't think anything. It's yesterday, last week's game is ancient history. I think he's too good a quarterback to have 2 bad games in a row or 8 straight quarters in a row. He'll come back and do a good job, I'm sure, if he has a chance, and of course if his line does a good job of protecting for him.
It's always a war. The Redskins and the Cowboys coming up next. Billy Ard being helped off. David Jordan, a rookie from Auburn, a 10th round draft pick, number 69, will take his place. So both teams have lost their left guards on offense.
And that's a good play on the part of the coaching staff to decline the penalty. Had they accepted the penalty, they might have given them an opportunity to get closer and maybe get a touchdown. This way they're going to say, well, go ahead and make the field goal. Their kicker hasn't been kicking that good, and they're still ahead in the ball game, even if he makes the 3 points.
This will be a 33-yard field goal attempt. Ali Haji Sheikh, after a slow start, has kicked 12 of his last 15. Rutledge is holding. The kick is up. The kick is no good. Off to the left. Frustration mirrored on the Giants in Haji Sheikh and Bill Parcells, and so Kenny Daniel gave him a big chance, Hank, with a great kickoff return, and the Giants couldn't take advantage.
But here again, I think the important thing was the call by the coaches on the St. Louis Cardinals to not take the penalty, to make him try to get 3 points. He missed the kick.
Now you saw the frustration on the Giants sideline, and here's Jim Hannafin, who has had a lot of heartbreak with some of O'Donoghue's kicks. Here's how the Cardinals reacted to that miss by Ali Haji Sheikh.
Happiness, and of course there's Jim right in the middle of the mob there. He was in his linebacker position just before the kick, wasn't he?
So the Cardinals maintain that 21-14 lead with 7:31 to go. And Neil Lomax bringing them out, 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line, following that miss by Haji Sheikh, who struggled early in the year.
It's hard to understand why he's kicking so poorly this year, because he's really got great talent and is really a super kicker.
Billy Ard has a sprained knee and will not be back as Otis Anderson carries the ball out to the 23-yard line on 1st down. Anderson gained 49 yards on 13 carries in the first half, and this is his first attempt of the second. Harry Carson making the tackle.
Second and 7 at the 23.
Neil Lomax, 3 touchdown passes today. Pat Tilley, Stump Mitchell, and Roy Green.
The Giants have really done a great job on Anderson on 1st down situations. Carried it 5 times and only averaged a yard.
Play action pass, and Lomax is going up on top for Roy Green again with Kenny Daniel defending. He's got the ball. No, now they say he was out of bounds. Green complains, and now Elvis Patterson over there, number 34 on the side. But once again, Hank, as you pointed out, you got to give some room when you're making those sideline plays.
Yeah, you're right. But he tries to get him turned around, you see, and the young defensive back is looking back for the ball instead of looking at the man. He gets away with it because the ball is thrown a little bit too short. Had the ball been thrown out in front, it'd have been a touchdown and been the bye-bye blows. But you cannot, if you're playing man-for-man coverage, look back at the quarterback and expect to cover the receiver.
3rd down and 7. Lomax out of the shotgun on the 23-yard line.
Now they should throw in front of Patterson. They've 1-for-1 coverage, maybe.
They've got Pittman on that side, but they go to the other way, and it's a low toss. Incomplete, going for Roy Green on the left side, and now tempers flare, and now they're going after each other. Louis Sharp, number 67, has his helmet off.
And that's a big mistake. That's mistake number 1. Keep the head on.
Even if you're as big as Louis Sharp.
Doesn't make any difference how big you are. Make sure you keep the cap on.
All of a sudden, following that incomplete pass, the linemen started flailing at each other from both sides. Now peace appears to be restored.
And it's interesting to watch Roy Green walk around the field. He's limping.
We have unnecessary roughness both sides. In a dead ball. Third down.
So what does it mean when you call the same penalty on both sides?
That means just boys will be boys, and that's it.
Which we knew anyway.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of huffing and puffing, pushing and shoving, but nothing really happening.
It'll be 4th down. Lionel Manuel will go deep for the Giants. When they sort it out, let's see if they replay the down. I think it's 4th down.
Yeah, it's 4th down.
Dead ball. It is 4th down.
4th down, and
interesting to watch Roy Green. As I mentioned, he's limping around. Looks like Chester and Gunsmoke walking around out there. I don't know whether he's trying to set up a defensive back or whether he's really got a problem.
probably the next time he lines up, he'll probably scoot down the sidelines and beat his defender. We'll see. Anyway, it's 4th down and Birdsong to punt. Manuel is at his 40-yard line. Giants could be looking at good field position. Good kick off the side, and Manuel at the 43-yard line gives ground and is down by Dave Aarons. But the Giants still have decent field position. But right now, for an NFL Today report, here's Brent Musburger in New York. Brent?
Dick, Walter Payton back at running back. Rusty Lish pitches to him, and Payton throws a touchdown pass to Matsui, and the Bears draw even with the Packers. It is now 7-all. Let's go back to Dick.
Well, Walter Payton doesn't have to be a quarterback to throw the ball, does he?
No, he doesn't. He's got all kinds of ability. He does it all.
6:29 remaining in the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10 for Phil Simms at the 42-yard line. Joe Morris in motion to the top of your picture. They're putting pressure on Simms, and his pass is overthrown. He was going for Bobby Johnson. It'll be 2nd down. Next Saturday, NFL action on CBS Sports, first at noon Eastern. The NFL Today, a special feature on Giants quarterback Phil Simms. Years of frustration and injury finally came of age this year and has been a major factor. He's been a leader of this ball club. And then the Giants will host the New Orleans Saints, as the Giants could either win a wild card berth if they lose this game, or if they win, wrap up their first division title in 21 years. Next Saturday on CBS Sports. Joe Morris breaks one off the right side and has a 1st down into Cardinal territory at the 49-yard line. Benny Perrin makes the stop, and Morris is having himself a fine game.
Watch Bubba Baker, number 60. Now, basically, I think people around the league feel Baker's a better pass rusher than he is a guy who protects against the run. That time they blocked him in pretty good shape. Number 63, Carl Nelson, was the responsible blocker on the play and did a good job.
They're going to measure to see whether Morris has the 1st down.
There again, I think the St. Louis Cardinals were expecting a pass, and they crossed him up with a run. It was a good call on the part of the Giant coaching staff.
1st down at the 49-yard line of the Cardinals. 6 minutes and 12 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Bill Parcells' Giants looking for their 10th win. They haven't won 10 games since they won the Eastern Conference Championship back in 1963, where they finished with an 11-3 record. Pitch. Carpenter has some room, has a 1st down, and Rob Carpenter, with a well-designed play, has a 1st down at the 33. Benny Perrin the tackle.
That was an option play without an option. They fake inside. Not much of a fake either. And Dumps the ball to the outside to Carpenter. There's a lot of room. The linebacker took the bait on the play, got caught inside with a fake, and there was a lot of running room for Carpenter to maneuver on the outside.
He picked up 15 yards, 1st and 10 at the Cardinal 33. Giants threatened before and came up empty, and here's Morris banging into the line to the 29-yard line. Gain of 4. Right now, let's go back to Brent Musburger in an NFL Today report. Brent?
Dick, just after Peyton threw that touchdown pass, Bob Thomas kicked off. Del Rogers picked it up, beat a tackle there at the 15, another at the 25, cut back and outran Thomas for a Packer touchdown. He went all the way 13-7. Back to Dick.
Okay, Brent. Of course, the Bears playing for that home field edge.
Looks like running right would be a good place to run if they run.
2nd and 6. They run right, and Joe Morris runs right through the St. Louis Cardinals, and Morris is down at the 1-yard line. Lionel Washington saves a touchdown, and the Giants are knocking on the Cardinal door. 28 yards. Did he run right or left, Hank?
That was the place to go. Watch the line, the blocking at the point of attack, the right side of the offensive line. Mowat comes off and blocks the linebacker on the inside. Morris goes all the way right up the middle, right down the hash mark, and takes her right down to the 1-yard line. But a good job of blocking at the point of attack by Godfrey Nelson and also the tight end Mowat.
And Joe Morris with 88 yards has a career high, and he said it last week against the Jets, and he breaks it.
Got another advantage to the right side if they run it there.
1st and goal from the 1. Carpenter is over for the touchdown. Rob Carpenter over the top, and the Giants come back to within 21-20.
Another good push on the right side. They can run off the ball. They bring a guy in motion from the outside in, and it goes over the top and gets the touchdown. Mulledy was in motion coming from right to left.
So it's 21-20. Back and forth they go. 3:59 remaining. The Giants have had only one lead in the game, and that was the first lead, 7-0. Ali Haji Sheikh to try to tie the ball game up. And he does with 3:59 remaining. So Morris on the 28-yard run set it up, and the Giants did it basically on the ground. We have a tie game. In a terrific ball game, 21-all, 3rd quarter. Rob Carpenter with the touchdown for the Giants, his 7th touchdown of the year. Ali Haji Sheikh will kick off to stump Mitchell and company. What about those special team coaches now, Hank?
Well, I think here again, I think the Giants special team coaches or the head coach should get the guys together and say, listen, you blew it the last time. Make sure you cover this kick and make the tackle inside the 20. That's what they got to do instead of letting them run up and down the field on a specialty team.
Mitchell will run it from 2 yards in the end zone. Mitchell to the 20 and brings it out just beyond the 20-yard line. 59-yard drive by the Giants, all on the ground. Well, 3 bowl games are coming your way on CBS Sports. First, the Sun Bowl. High-scoring Maryland. They're a team to watch against Tennessee, live 3 o'clock Eastern time. That's on Saturday, December 22nd. Then the Peach Bowl, Purdue against Virginia. Well, your old school made a bowl game.
Well, you know, a lot of people, there was another illustration. A lot of people didn't think they'd win many games, but they had a great year beating Ohio State and Michigan and winding up in a bowl.
Elvis Patterson is the injured Giant. Well, the casualty list is really adding up in this ball game. Terry Steve went out with a broken leg on the 2nd play of the ball game. The Giants have lost Billy Yard. We don't think he's going to be back. Lawrence Taylor was shaken up for a while and was out of the ball game. Mark Haynes has not come back for the Giants, and they've been forced to use Kenny Daniel and Elvis Patterson, and now Patterson is hurt for the Giants. Elvis Patterson, who blocked a field goal against the Jets last week, rookie free agent from Kansas. There's Joe Morris, 95 yards. That's the most he's ever had as a pro, and has given the Giants that extra dimension that they really didn't have most of the year when it was Sims to somebody in the passing game.
Delightful guy to talk to, too, and he's got great speed. He doesn't have the dancing ability, which is good for, you know, the way he runs. He runs straight at people, and really gets the most out of his ability. He's terrific.
Well, he can dance in the discos, but not on the field.
Have you seen him do that?
No, but he told me he could. Let's talk about the Peach Bowl again. Purdue against Virginia, 3 o'clock on the New Year's Eve, December 31st. And Virginia in a bowl for the first time. Purdue from the Big Ten, and of course the big one, New Year's Day, Heisman Trophy winner Doug Flutie. A fantastic attraction. The Cotton Bowl against Houston, the surprise Southwest Conference representative. 3 good, well-matched bowl games coming up on CBS Sports. Kenny Daniel is back in at quarterback with Patterson out of there. 1st and 10 Cardinals on their 26. 21-21 tie. Lawrence Taylor trying to find some room to come in, and Byron Hunt does, and throws Lomax to the ground. 3rd sack of the game. Byron Hunt came in.
The Giants really did a great job of disguising their defense. They put the linebackers on the line of scrimmage, and when they do that, everybody blitzes, and right about the time they thought he was going to snap the ball, then he backed out of there, and it created a problem for Lomax, and as a result, it was a little confusion, and he couldn't understand really what was taking place on the play.
Byron Hunt had his best year when he was a rookie in the Giants' last playoff effort. That was back in 1981, and he's the most complete linebacker other than Lawrence Taylor that the Giants have. He's got the height at 6'5". He can rush and the speed to cover. He's ideal. 2nd down and 16 at the 20. Roy Green in motion with 3:23 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Lomax looking downfield and now dumps it off to Otis Anderson, and Anderson fights his way to the 35. This is a 1st down by about a yard, and Byron Hunt makes the tackle, but that was a hard-earned 15 yards for Otis Anderson.
Here again, Lomax does a good job of getting rid of the football. He gets out of the pocket and just kind of flips the ball to Anderson. And look how low Anderson gets on the defensive back, on the linebacker. Taylor is blitzing on the play. They pick him up well. Louise Sharp doing a good job on Taylor. And Anderson does a good job of running and coming close to making the 1st down.
Anderson goes out of the game. Earl Farrell, Randy Love, and Stump Mitchell are all in there together. And on a kind of a reverse here is Earl Farrell, the fullback, around the right side, showing his power. He has a 1st down to the Cardinal 40-yard line. Terry Kennard, the free safety, and Carl Banks, the linebacker, make the stop. Earl Farrell, not the blocker Wayne Morris was for Otis Anderson, but he's a good receiver, and I think they like him. Most improved, they say, on that offense.
And he's also a very good runner.
1st and 10 at the 41.
Winding down to 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10 Cardinals on the 41. Score is tied 21-all. Must win for the Cardinals in their playoff hopes. Giants need the win if they want to win the division title. Pressure on Lomax. Swings it out to Farrell. Farrell, and Reasons finally makes the tackle, but not before some neat running by Earl Farrell brings the ball to the 48.
That was a very good catch. The ball was thrown low to Farrell, and he still made the catch. You can't see a good picture of it, but he makes the catch right about knee-high and maintained balance and get the most out of the play as he possibly could. Taylor blitzing on the play, number 56. Here he comes. And this time the left guard, Dawson, is on blocking him. So they're having a tackle block him, a guard block him, a tight end block him, and also a back block.
2nd down and 3.
Would you go out on a limb and say they're concerned about blocking Taylor?
It may be. Farrell going outside, has the 1st down with a good cut inside to Giant territory to the 44-yard line. Terry Kennard and Curtis McGriff finally bring down the elusive Earl Farrell, who is a big, strong fullback. So Farrell doing a lot of the damage on this drive. 40 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. In a 21-21 game, the teams have gone up and down the field in a game marked by big plays, not only on offense, but on defense and special teams as well. Lomax, 1st and 10. Can't get away from Hedden and Hunt. Jim Burt, the man in the middle. And the clock stops with 19 seconds remaining. 4th sack of the game.
Good pressure, but there's an opening inside. You see Byron Hunt, 57, coming off the block, coming to the inside and gets a piece of the tackle. But it really looked like Lomax was a little undecided, didn't make up his mind soon enough, and that's why he got caught.
Clock runs again. There's the story with the Giants with 4 sacks. The clock is going to run out, and we have exciting 15 minutes to go. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Giants 21, the Cardinals 21. We now pause for a word from your local station. Dick Stockton along with Hank Stram at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. We begin the fourth quarter with the score tied, and the St. Louis Cardinals facing 2nd down and 10 at the Giant 44-yard line.
The way the defense is, something in the middle should be vulnerable, should be effective.
Here's Otis Anderson with a couple of blockers. Anderson fights his way to the 41-yard line. A gain of 3. It'll be 3rd and 7. Harry Carson making the tackle. The Giants win this game and the game against the Saints at home next Saturday on CBS. They'll be NFC East champions on the basis of a better division record. They have the destiny in their own hands. They don't have to worry about the scoreboard if they win this game and next week's game against New Orleans. What a feather in the cap that would be for Bill Parcells. But they're in a struggle here. 3rd and 8 for the Cardinals at the 42. Lomax gets away from trouble. Fires. Caught. Pat Tilley. And a first down for the Cardinals at the 25. Good for 17 yards.
The great thing about Tilley is he works so well away from the football. He's always in the game, always in the pattern. And, of course, Lomax knows that. Look, they get a pretty good rush. He ducks under the rush, though. Look at Tilley. Comes to the inside, sees him break away, breaks behind the defensive back, is in a good position, wide open, makes the catch, move the chains, first down.
At the 26-yard line, limping off is Pat Tilley. Danny Pittman is in the ball game. He comes out wide to the right, Green to the left. 1st and 10 for the Cardinals at the Giant 26.
Kenny Daniels is playing a left cornerback.
Here's Anderson on the pitch. Fights his way and goes out of bounds. Close to the 20-yard line. Terry Kennard, the free safety. Otis Anderson has gone over 1,000 yards last week for the 5th time in his 6-year career. The only time that he didn't was that strike-shortened year in '82.
Kenny Daniel that time, the left cornerback, came up in pretty good shape that time, got a piece of the ball carrier Anderson, slowed him down enough for Kennard to come over and make the tackle.
2nd and 7. Once again to the top goes Pittman.
They ought to do some business on Daniel over that right side. Now they're changing the coverage.
Lomax looking left, going left, looking for Roy Green. He extended himself as well as he could, and he was covered there by Perry Williams. Currier was also there. Roy Green, who caught a 35-yard touchdown pass earlier in the ballgame.
Green comes off the ball in good shape, breaks to the inside, runs straight up the field to get the defensive back even, Currier, and then breaks to the outside. That's why he went up the field straight at him to get him squared away. The ball was out in front just a little bit too much, and he couldn't hang on.
3rd down and 7. Well, the Cardinals were determined to, even though they won the last 2 games, to go back to their identity of being a pass team in this game, which got them success in the first half of the year.
If you're not careful, you get away from your personality, and it can really hurt you. They've gone back to it here and playing very well. I'm talking about both teams. Pretty.
3rd down and 7. Ball at the 23. Lomax, who's been sacked 4 times, dumps it off to Otis Anderson. Anderson, what a move by Anderson. He's got a first down inside the 15-yard line. And did a lot of that, if not all of that, on his own. Sally and Carson finally brought him down.
You know, there's a great rapport between Anderson and also Lomax. Lomax always knows where he is. He knows what Lomax is going to do. Watch, he's in a jam. He flushes out of the pocket to get a piece of him. He knows exactly where Anderson is, dumps the ball off to him, and Anderson does a great job of running on the play.
And 1st and 10 at the Giant 12-yard line. Otis Anderson.
You have to give Lomax an awful lot of credit for maintaining his poise and knowing exactly where Anderson is so he can dump the ball off.
And they were grabbing at his jersey when he dumped it off.
He's got a one-on-one on the right side now. Look at,
Anderson, left side, he's got room with a 5. Otis Anderson is in for the touchdown. Sixth touchdown of the year, and the Cardinals have moved ahead once again. They're staying at arm's length over the Giants. It's 27-21. Jim Hannafin's Redbirds take the lead on Anderson's 12-yard touchdown run.
That was a counter play. Good blocking at the point of attack. Terrific job by the offensive lineman on the left side, Sharp and Dawson, along with Clark.
O'Donohue in to add the 28-point with Benny Perrin holding. The kick is good. It's 28-21 in favor of the Cardinals with 12 minutes and 17 seconds. Plenty of time to go in the fourth quarter.
Here's a look. He takes a step to the right side. Marsh does a good job. Look at Bostic coming out in front, along with a right tackle, Robbins, and he goes into the end zone for the touchdown. Watch Marsh, the tight end 80. Look at the fine block he makes on the defensive end. Marshall. Watch Taylor. Watch Taylor, 56. But he doesn't get there quite in time to prevent Anderson from making the touchdown.
He's not easy to stop. Pretty good scoring drive by the Cardinals. The big play was a 17-yard pass from Lomax to Pat Tilley. Then Anderson ran 10 yards, and then Otis went in from 12 to give the Cardinals a 28-21 lead. Plenty of time to go as O'Donohue kicks off. Butch Woolfolk is deep for the Giants at the 6-yard line. And Woolfolk brings it out to the 22-yard line. Hank, very rarely do you have a great game in which the setting is great, the drama is great, and it delivers. This game is delivering everything that he's told us it would do.
And both coaches said before the game they were going to play this kind of a game, and they actually did. A lot of times you get that, you know, and it's kind of the in-house thing to say, but really they literally have executed a plan, and it's been very exciting. Great game.
As we said, it's a must game for the St. Louis Cardinals. They have to win this week and next week, and then hope that Washington beats Dallas. That's the only way the Cardinals can win the division. They can get a wild card if they win 2. Penalty markers are down as Morris carries to the 25-yard line. The tackle, Lionel Washington and E.J. Jr. in on the play. And Hannafin says, yeah, we'll take it. Holding called against the Giants. You know, actually, Hank, it's possible for the Cardinals to win both of their games and still not make the playoffs. It's a complicated situation, but there is a way in which St. Louis can win both and not make it.
Holding, offense, number 73. First down.
And there's nothing more frustrating in the world to have that happen and not get into the playoffs. One year in 1968, before the playoff system, we won 13 of 14 games and had to sit home and watch it all on television.
You could have used the wild card then.
Yes, we could have. Or we could have used that extra win. And we lost the first game of the season to the Jets.
Kevin Belcher was holding on the play. Rob Carpenter makes something out of nothing and brings it out to the 14-yard line, but the Cardinal defense is aroused and the crowd is helping them along. Galloway and Charlie Baker made the tackle.
Or they're playing with their heart on their sleeve now. Great deal of emotion talking about the defense of the St. Louis Cardinals. Baker comes in from the inside, gets a piece of the tackle, but doesn't make it.
Second down and 19. It's a good front line. Cardinals defense has made great strides since midseason. They were ranked 13th. They've moved up to 3rd since mid-year. Second and 19, back to the 14-yard line, and is Joe Morris racing up the middle, protecting the ball, and Morris carries it out to the 26-yard line. Still shy of a first down by about 8 yards, but an 11-yard pickup for Joe Morris, who's gone over 100 for the first time in his career.
You have to be impressed with the way he's running. Boy, he's very decisive. Excellent speed, great burst, and has really taken advantage of the running area that he's had here this afternoon. Terrific looking running back.
Curtis Greer made the tackle. 3rd and 8 at the 25.
I liked talking to him yesterday. We looked eye to eye.
And there aren't many, huh?
No, that's
say
right.
That about.
It's, other than my Basset Hound at home, is the only other one.
Sims. Baker storming down, and Lionel Washington knocks the ball away from Lionel Manuel, the intended receiver. Good defensive play, but it was Bubba Baker who really put terrific pressure on Phil Simms.
Bubba Baker, number 60, watch him, fakes inside, uses his hands well, then goes inside, still pursuing inside. Belcher's trying to block him, and he finally rushes the quarterback, but he puts a lot of pressure on him. Talking about Baker, Harold Nelson, I should say, was blocking him on the play, number 63.
Jennings punting. And it takes a St. Louis roll into Giant territory to the 48-yard line of New York. And everything is breaking right for the St. Louis Cardinals right now. That was a 22-yard punt by the time it stopped and was down by Andy Hedden. And the Cardinals will start at the 48-yard line. 10 minutes, 17 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. It's been a wild game. Back and forth it's gone. The Cardinals have had the lead most of the way, and they have it now, 28-21. I want to take a moment to remind you of what's upcoming tonight on CBS. It all begins with 60 Minutes, followed by Murder, She Wrote, then the 9th annual All-Star Party for Lucille Ball, and Trapper John M.T. ends the lineup tonight on CBS. First and 10 Cardinals on the Giant 48. The defense, Lloyd Peters, assistant head coach and defensive coordinator. Otis Anderson carries to the 45-yard line, gain of about 3 on the play. Now what the Giants have to do is really prevent a touchdown and not find themselves with 6 or 7 minutes to go in the game down by 14 points.
Well, the thing, you know, the St. Louis Cardinals now are rushing the ball so well. They're putting a lot of pressure on the defense of the New York Giants, and it helps from the passing standpoint too, because they don't know whether they're going to run or pass the ball, and when you run that well, boy, it's murder.
Second down and 7 at the Giant 45. The weather has cleared up and brightened. So have the Cardinals' fortunes, as it's turned out. Play action, rolling out. And here is Lomax, and Lomax is going to be down by Jim Burt. That will be the 5th sack of the ball game. Well, we're going to have a special report coming up right now, and we're going to leave St. Louis with the score 28-21. The Cardinals leading. It'll be 3rd down and 11. 3rd and 11. The Cardinals will have the ball. When we come back, we'll tell you what transpired.
St. Louis 3rd and 11. On the Giants 49.
Cardinals have the ball on the Giant 49. We'll tell you what happens, but now for a special report on the Kuwaiti airline crisis in Tehran, let's go to CBS News, New York. Good news on the Kuwaiti Airlines situation from New York. The Cardinals with a 14-yard pass play from Lomax to Danny Pittman. And a first down, gives the ball now to Otis Anderson, tackled by Jim Burt. And the Cardinals in Giant territory at the 32-yard line with 8:45 now remaining. Hank, with Giant injuries in the secondary, they really have some problems putting in a nickelback right now.
Well, they're having a problem on early downs, really, with Kenny Daniels along with that, Dick, which is a good observation. Bill Parcells very concerned at this particular time.
Second down and 6 for St. Louis at the Giant 32. This could be a very important segment of the ball game. Here's Earl Farrell. And Farrell is down at the 25, and it should be another first down for the Cardinals. And it is another first down, St. Louis. Lawrence Taylor makes the tackle, and the Cardinals, as you like to say, are moving the chains, Hank.
They are, and they're satisfied to do just that, because they're getting a good push from their offensive line, controlling the line of scrimmage, making things happen from a running standpoint. Why change it? Let's keep stuffing it at them and see if we can keep moving the chains and get another 7. If not, we'll take 3.
There at the Giant 25, Neil Lomax, who has not had a lot of success in the pass against the Giants, having a terrific game. 3 touchdown passes and a good throwing percentage. Going to put it in the air right here. Up the middle. And he finds Greg LaFleur, the tight end, to the 20-yard line, and a gain of 5 on that play. Tackled by Byron Hunt. Winding down to 7 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter.
One thing about the Cardinals, they went in with the idea they had to be patient, and they have been patient with their passing game, and they've been running the ball very, very well as of late.
They've had some big plays, of course, too. Lomax to stump Mitchell, the 44-yard play to put the Cardinals up by a touchdown in the second quarter. 35-yard pass to Roy Green, and 2 scintillating kickoff returns. Second down and 4 at the 19. Farrell goes in motion, and Otis Anderson off the right side. Giants get penetration, and Gary Reasons slowed up Otis Anderson for Kenny Daniel. But the clock continues to run. 6:20.
Really, that time the left tackle was pulling on the play. It was a counter again with Sharp, the left tackle, 67, pulling. He got in his way and slowed him down a little bit.
It'll be 3rd down and 3. Stump Mitchell comes in for Otis Anderson. Mitchell has scored a touchdown on the receiving end. He has thrown a pass in the ball game and returned a kick 56 yards.
Good time for him to come into the game. He's fresh, and he's quick, and he's fast, and he really makes things happen.
Here he is, 3rd down and 3, looking for room, but not that time, and the Giant defense converges. Terry Kennard along with Jim Burt, who's playing as if he doesn't have any problem. Forget about the sprained arch, and he has come in at nose tackle and has played a marvelous ball game for the Giants. It'll be 4th down, and here's O'Donohue to try a field goal.
He's a great competitor, and I don't think he gets enough credit, the credit that he deserves for playing on the nose of the offensive center. He's a good one.
O'Donohue has tried 1 field goal today. It was a 40-yard attempt that was wide to the left. That was early. This will be a 34-yard attempt with Benny Perrin holding. He's had 5 field goals blocked this year. Trying to give the Cardinals a 10-point lead. High kick and a good kick. And the Cardinals lead 31-21 on a big field goal by Neil O'Donoghue with 4 minutes and 54 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. And the Giants, who will get the ball, now are faced with getting 2 scores to get back in the ball game. Here's how Jim Hanifin watched the ball as it went through the uprights. This is the first time in the ball game that we've had a lead of more than 7 points. Cardinals have it with 4:54 to go. O'Donoghue kicking off to Butch Woolfolk. Woolfolk at the 7-yard line. To the 20, to the 30, and a good return by Butch Woolfolk to the 31-yard line. Randy Love making the tackle. Well, coming up next, it'll be the Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys, and if the Giants don't come back and lose this game, the winner of that game will move into undisputed possession of first place in the NFC East, and the loser, will be in a 3-way tie with the Cardinals and the Giants for second, and we're going to go down to the wire in this race, which of course surprises nobody. Bill Sims, 2 of 11 for 33 yards and 1 interception in the second half. At the 33, 1st and 10. Sims batted down, caught by the lineman, Kevin Belcher, the center. It was touched by a defender, so Belcher becomes eligible, and that will be a completed pass out to the 36-yard line.
That's the 3rd ball that's been deflected on Sims here this afternoon. Looked like Galloway, 65, was the one who knocked it down, and Belcher caught it on the rebound.
Here's the play on the next down, and Sims is sacked for the second time by Bubba Baker. Baker on the sack. You know, there's a story about Al Baker, the veteran who came over from the Lions. He missed 3 days of practice this week. He attended his brother's funeral in New Jersey. Charlie, who passed away at the age of 37. Baker came back to play today, and he's had an outstanding ball game in the midst of tragedy in the family.
Makes another tackle. Fell off the block, came onto the inside, and made the tackle. Another good shot by Bubba Baker, number 60.
2 in a row for Baker.
play ground level this time. Baker coming to the inside. You don't get a good picture of him, but there you see him make the tackle. Comes off the block of the offensive tackle and makes the play inside.
3 minutes and 53 seconds to go. It's 4th down now as Baker involved in 2 plays. Jennings punting to stump Mitchell at the 36-yard line. And Mitchell drives it up to the 44-yard line. 3:41 showing on the clock. Bubba Baker dominating on defense, and the Cardinals leading 31-21. 3 minutes and 41 seconds remain in the 4th quarter. The Cardinals have the ball, a 10-point lead. And good field position on their 43-yard line. They've been running the ball effectively last time they were in possession. Here's Otis Anderson. Stretches for an extra few and picks up 4 yards. Lawrence Taylor making the tackle. Let's check the scoreboard in that AFC Central Division ball game. They're tied, Pittsburgh and Cleveland, 20-20 in the 4th quarter. Cincinnati is leading New Orleans 24-14. If the Steelers lose and the Bengals win, there'll be a tie in the Central Division. And a tie at the end of the year would mean Cincinnati would win the AFC Division title. Basis on a better division mark. 2nd down, 6 at the 47. Anderson again using up more time and getting close to a 1st down. Harry Carson on the stop. He's worked very hard for his yardage today. Look at that one. Kansas City 34, Seattle 7. How do you figure that one, folks?
Well, the only way you can figure that one is Seattle's already in business. They're in the playoffs, and so Miami 28-17 over Indianapolis. They finally came back and got control of the ball game. But when any time a team is out of the, it's clinched a playoff, well, you never know how they're going to play their last 2 games of the season.
Philadelphia, they may be the best team with a losing record in the league right now. Chicago over Green Bay, 14-13. Peyton has run for a touchdown and has thrown for a touchdown in this game. The Giants have called a timeout. They have 1 remaining. Tampa Bay over Atlanta, 23-6. Coming up right after this one is over will be the Cowboys and the Redskins at Texas Stadium in Irving. Washington won the earlier game. They're 9-5. Dallas is 9-5. But Washington has been playing the better football of the 2 coming into this game.
Yeah, they've been very consistent, both defensively and also from an offensive viewpoint.
It'll be 3rd down and 2 for the Cardinals. Bill Parcells has talked to Harry Carson. Hannafin has done the same with Neil Lomax. The Giants need a touchdown and a field goal to force a tie. They need 2 scores. And they have only 1 timeout and not a lot of time, 2:49 to try to do it. But first, they've got to stop the Cardinals here. Ball's at the Giant 48. Anderson, the lone back, play action. They went after Anderson, and Neil Lomax may be stopped shy of a 1st down. Jim Byrd and Byron Hunt went after Lomax, but I saw 3 guys converge on Otis Anderson. The Giants felt 32 was going to get the ball.
Well, that's what's good about a play action fake, and if you do a good job of faking, the defensive people should tackle faking back, and they did that very well that time, and I think it's very, very short of the 1st down.
4th down and 1. Birdsong is coming on to punt.
It is 4th down. New York has asked for a timeout. It's their 3rd one.
In this position, you can't take a chance. You just want to make sure you kick the ball down the field and make them travel as long as they possibly can.
Well, if you don't, they can get an easy score and get another one.
Carl Birdsong to punt.
Birdsong to punt. And Manuel is back for the Giants with 2:39 showing on the clock. If they go for it on 4th down and don't make it, you know, the Giants can get a quick pass and an onside kick.
The rule has to be you can't put yourself in a position to put the other team back in the game. You got to play football. You got to play the percentages. You got to kick the ball and make them go 80 or 85 or 75, whatever it has to be. But you can't reduce the size of the field for them and give them an opportunity to get in the game.
Giants are out of timeouts with 2:39 to go, and Birdsong will be kicking to Manuel.
Make sure they let the clock run all the way down to about 5 seconds before they snap it or kick it.
They've got 8 right now.
There they go on 5.
Giants coming in to attempt the block. Bearcats called for by Manuel at the 20-yard line. So the Giants' picture is this. They've got to go 80 yards and need another score after that. They have 2:32 to go. They're down by 10, out of timeouts. Dick Stockton and Hank Stram back at Busch Stadium with 2:32 remaining in the 4th quarter. The Cardinals leading 31-21. We were tied at 21 after the 3rd quarter, and then Otis Anderson ran 12 yards for the leading touchdown. Then Neil O'Donohue kicked a 34-yard field goal for the 10-point lead. 1st and 10 at the 20 for Phil Simms. Elo Grooms, good pass rusher, is in the game. Simms dumps it off to Bobby Johnson. And Johnson is tackled at the 30 by E.J. Jr.
There's enormous difference between the passing total of both teams. The New York Giants have only thrown for 109 yards. St. Louis 271. And that's the thing that normally the Giants do very, very well.
Simms up the middle. And the pass is caught. Bobby Johnson again. He is the leading receiver on the Giants, and that was a 35-yard strike to the 36-yard line of the Cardinals. Lionel Washington makes the tackle, and we're going to have our 2-minute warning right now, and Simms really drilled it.
He really did. There you see Washington on the outside. He's got help from the inside. The safety man, Perrin, did not come over soon enough, and that's why he was able to make the catch.
So the Giants will have a 1st and 10 on the 36. The 2-minute warning in effect. We'll be back. The Giants have all their receivers in the game. Lionel Manuel, Bobby Johnson, Byron Williams, and Tony Galbraith out of the backfield. 1st and 10 at the 36. They're all lined up there. 31-21, the Cardinals lead. Simms looking, gets hit from behind. Curtis Greer got him from behind, but the Cardinals were covering those receivers awfully well.
The other thing is very important here again. The difference in the games really has been the fact that the pass protection of the Giants has not been nearly as good and as efficient as the pass protection for the St. Louis Cardinals. Phil Simms really hasn't had much of an opportunity to step up into the pocket and throw the ball. He's been harassed here most of the time, and as a result hasn't had a chance to have a good afternoon.
You saw Greer. He's been the culprit. Bubba Baker the last time they had the ball. Tough days for Carl Nelson and Brad Benson. Those are the tackles that are on these defensive ends. 2nd down and 10 at the 36. Simms. He's going up on top. Byron Williams, and the ball is out of bounds. Well covered. Lionel Washington and Wayne Smith, both cornerbacks, were on Byron Williams.
I don't know how he came down with the ball. Even though he was out of bounds, he still came down with the catch.
It'll be 3rd down and 10, and the clock stops. 1:49 on it. Giants are out of timeouts. Simms has to be a miracle worker here.
You know, anytime you play man-for-man coverage, you got one-on-one on the outside receivers. You got to get the ball downfield, and the Giants really haven't been able to take advantage of that because their pass protection hasn't been that good.
Keep in mind the Giants need a touchdown and a field goal to tie, not 2 touchdowns. Simms pass caught by Galbraith and a good catch, shy of a 1st down at the 30, but Haji Sheik is going to come in, and the Giants will try to get 3 of that 10-point deficit taken care of. Lee Nelson made the hard hit on Galbraith, who held on to the ball. The clock runs less than a minute and a half. This will be a 47-yard attempt. Rutledge holding. Haji Sheik's kick is long enough, and no, off to the left, no good. And the Cardinals hold, and they can see victory in their grasp with 1 minute and 19 seconds to go, and perhaps so can Bill Parcells.
That was a good move, too, to get the field goal team out there with the idea of getting at least 3 now. Then onside kicking the ball, that's what they had to do, and hope they could get it back, but they didn't.
This is the second one he's missed. Aji Sheik missed a 33-yarder earlier. This was 47 yards. Body English didn't get the job done that time. And it remains 31-21. The Cardinals will have the ball. Hanifin.
Look at Hanifin. Is he happy?
Said maybe it's the biggest game of my coaching career, and maybe it is, but maybe next week will be even bigger.
It's the biggest one until next week. That's what it is.
And that's when the Cardinals face the Redskins. 1st and 10 at the 30. And the Giants, without any timeouts, practically helpless from this point on. Big game, and the Cardinals will prevail. We want to thank some people. The executive producer of NFL football, Terry O'Neill. The senior producer, Chuck Milton. And the guys who have been doing it in our truck all year, John Ferrazis, the producer, Andy Kindle, the director. Fine job, and to the rest of the crew as well. Thanks. And thanks to our guys up here in the booth, Marty Aronoff, our spotter, and Pat McGrath, our statistician, as the seconds tick off. What this game means with the Cardinals winning is that the winner of the Redskins-Cowboys game may not be assured of a playoff berth. But now the Giants go to next Saturday's game with the New Orleans Saints, needing a victory to get into the playoffs. Doesn't look likely they'll win the division title, and the Cardinals needed a win to stay alive. They had to win this game, and next week they got half the job done. So Jim Hanifin will take the Cardinals into the final game of the season, still with a shot to win. Coming up next, the Redskins against the Dallas Cowboys. For Hank Stram, this is Dick Stockton saying so long from Busch Stadium. The final score, the Cardinals 31, the Giants 21. Stay tuned for the Cowboys and the Redskins. CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League will continue after this word from your local station.
On the West Coast, you'll see the course at its regularly scheduled time. Now let's quickly look at the playoff picture. Chicago and San Francisco in the NFC. Next Sunday, Washington and St. Louis will meet for the NFC Eastern Division title. The Rams are on the driver's seat as far as the wild card is concerned. In the AFC, 4 teams are in the playoffs. The Raiders qualified today. Either Pittsburgh or Cincinnati will get in next week. These are all final scores now from around the league, and what drama unfolded down in Dallas. What a tremendous comeback by the Washington Redskins, 30-28 in the second half. The Los Angeles Rams, led by Eric Dickerson, who broke O.J. Simpson's single-season rushing record, and the Rams push their mark now to 10-5. Denver beat San Diego 16-13. Denver will play for the AFC West next Saturday afternoon against Seattle. St. Louis beats the Giants by 10. Philadelphia downs New England by 10 points also. And the Pittsburgh Steelers come back to beat Cleveland. The final in that one was 23-20. Cincinnati over New Orleans, and the Bengals, of course, can win if the Steelers cannot handle the Raiders next Sunday out in Los Angeles. Tampa Bay beats Atlanta 23-6. Kansas City upsets Seattle this afternoon 34-7. Miami beats Indianapolis, and now the Dolphins could have the home field advantage all the way. And Green Bay beats Chicago 2014. Next Saturday, we'll be on the air at noon here, and then we'll bring you the New Orleans Saints and the New York Giants. I'm Brent Musburger. So long, everybody.
You've been watching CBS Sports.
Coming up on Sports Extra, the Giants' playoff drive is on hold as they lose to the Cardinals. Vito Antifermo prepares for a boxing comeback. All the NFL scores on the next to the last weekend of the season, plus more with Bill Mazer and John Dockery. Tonight, sitting in for the vacationing Bill Mazer is Tom McDonald.
The Giants were beaten by St. Louis this afternoon, 31-21. I say beaten because the Giants played well. It's just that the Cardinals were better, at least on this afternoon. Now, the Giants are still in the playoff picture. That is, if they beat the Saints next Saturday, it's very convoluted. We'll talk about it later. First things first, though, here's what happened today against St. Louis. The Giants took a 7-0 lead in the first quarter when Phil Simms zipped this touchdown pass to Lionel Manuel. The rookie wide receiver gave the Giants a 7-0 lead. But early in the second quarter, Neil Lomax rolls out. Pat Tilley uses the basketball pick to get wide open. It's a touchdown, score tied at 7. Bad luck for Phil Simms. The ball is tipped by Grooms. Thomas Howard comes up with the interception near midfield right there. And that set up another St. Louis touchdown. Watch this nifty pass and run play. Lomax back, flips it off to Stump Mitchell. He travels 44 yards against the Giants zone. Curry had a shot, but he misses. Cards 14, Giants 7 at the half. Now early third quarter. Watch this great hustle by George Martin. Lomax completes the pass. Martin comes from behind, knocks the ball away. Mark Haynes scoops it up, runs a few yards. Only problem was Haynes was hurt on that play, had to leave the game. That gave the Giants in good field position. Simms to Moat, touchdown. Good protection, perfect throw, score tied at 14. But St. Louis came back. It's Mitchell again. This time a 56-yard kickoff return. As the Giants had the momentum, but they lost it after Mitchell returns this to give the Cardinals excellent field position. Old Mo jumps back on the side of the Cardinals. And the lead when Lomax and Hannafin gamble on 4th and 5. Watch this, 35 yards. Roy Green on the receiving end. Pass Kenny Daniels, touchdown St. Louis, 21-14. The Giants came back on the ground, a 59-yard drive, all running plays. Joe Morris goes 28 yards to the 1. Carpenter took it in on the next play, score tied 21-all. Morris over the 100-yard mark for the first time in his career. Speaking of running, that was Otis Anderson taking it in from 12 yards out. St. Louis 28-21 at this point on their way to a 31-21 victory over the Giants today out in St. Louis.
A losing streak that lasted about a month and a half came to an end yesterday. The Jets, grounded for 6 straight defeats, rode the arm of Kenny O'Brien to a victory over the Buffalo Bills. Freeman McNeil was out with broken ribs, and the Jets' offense sputtered early, but to the Jets' credit, they were able to rally after a shaky start. Buffalo got on the scoreboard first with about 45,000 people on hand. There were more than 31,000 no-shows. Stan David blocked a Chuck Ramsey punt, took it in the end zone, 7-0 Bills. On the ensuing kickoff, the fans in the stands got something to cheer about. Bobby Humphrey gathered in the ball, scooted up the field 64 yards. The run back set up a TD dash by Cedric Minter, which tied the score at 7 apiece. That was it for the Jets offense in the first half. The Bills led by 10 in the third quarter when the Jets offense started to fire. Ken O'Brien connected with Wesley Walker. The Jets were within 3. In the fourth quarter, the Jets won it. Lamb Jones showed he can catch the tough one. The big gainer enabled Tony Page to run it in for the winner. Buffalo didn't score in the second half. The Jets beat them 21-17. The star of the game is the subject of this report from Orrin Stevens.
As another non-winning Jet season draws towards its close next weekend, there are some reasons for optimism. And one of the strongest is the continuing development of last year's #1 draft pick, the quarterback of the future, Ken O'Brien.
He has a fine arm, and he's a very bright young man. You know, right now everything is new to him. Every coverage he sees, every blitz, but he's learning fast, and you don't have to tell him the same thing twice.
I'm starting to feel a lot more comfortable with the offense and the things Joe Walton wants to get done on offense just by the sheer fact of having played and gaining the experience.
What's Ken like out in the huddle? Is he take over? Is he take charge guy?
Well, first of all, I have to keep in mind he's a surfer. He's from California. He's from Cal Davis, so he's very relaxed, very laid back. You know, he'll get, take a blow in the jaw of the ear. He'll go down. He's in pain. Get up. No problem. You guys just relax. Here's the next play. He's a good leader. A guy you can have confidence in, and that's hard to say about a lot of people, who take the snaps.
Well, Marvin's from California, too, and he doesn't look too much like a surfer, but I think when you have guys up there like Marvin Powell and Dan Alexander, Joe Fields, that are keeping these other guys off my back all day, then it makes it that much easier to relax. And
Kenny's learned. He's starting to throw the ball with a little more touch, and his balls are getting easier to catch. I'm getting to work with Kenny a little bit more, and I'm understanding what he's doing, what he's thinking about.
I feel more confident when I get back there. I feel like I know what I'm supposed to do instead of thinking about what I'm supposed to do and then trying to do it.
He's young, he's strong, he's got a lot of great ability, and he's smart, and that's what it takes to be a winner.
He sure got that ball to you today, didn't he?
He definitely did, and I think there'll be many more to come.
Your strongest asset, what is it?
I think now it's that I'm confident, and I don't think that I can do wrong. Although I do wrong, I just believe in myself, and that'll carry over.
The hope around these parts is that it won't be too long before this talented and personable young guy with the shotgun arm makes all those Monday morning quarterbacks of the world forget all about Dan Marino and what might have been. For Sports Extra, I'm Warren Stevens.
The LA Raiders assured themselves of an opportunity to defend their Super Bowl crown.